Did you know that the world's oldest brewery is still brewing today? Let's look at this incredible piece of history that's been producing beer for centuries. Weihenstephan Brewery, Freising, Germany. Settled on Weihenstephan Hill in Freising, Bavaria, lies a brewery with nearly a millennium of history. The Weihenstephan Brewery. It proudly holds the title of the world's oldest continuously operating brewery, and its story is as rich as the beer it produces. It all began in 768, when records mention a hop garden paying dues to a monastery. Fast forward to 1040, and the city of Freising granted a brewing license, marking the official start of what we now celebrate as the Weihenstephan Brewery. Back then, it was part of a Benedictine monastery, which was itself steeped in history. The monastery had been around since 811, founded by Bishop Hitto von Freising, and had transitioned from Augustinian canons to Benedictine monks by 1020. But time didn't stand still. In 1803, during Bavaria's secularization, the monastery was dissolved, and its property, including the brewery, became state-owned. The abbey church was later demolished, but the brewery survived, evolving into a state-of-the-art facility by 1923 named Bavarian State Brewery Weihenstephan. What makes Weihenstephan so special today is its blend of tradition and innovation. Nestled within the Weihenstephan Science Center of the Technical University of Munich, it produces exceptional beers and serves as a hub for brewing research and education. The brewery combines centuries-old craftsmanship with modern technology, producing classic wheat beers like Weihenstephaner Weissbier and more potent brews like Vitus and Corbinian. Standing high above Freising, it offers stunning views of the Old Town, the Bavarian Plateau, and even the Alps, a testament to its enduring legacy and unwavering dedication to quality beer. Weltenberg Abbey Brewery. Located on a scenic peninsula along the Danube River, Weltenberg Abbey in Bavaria, Germany, is not just a breathtaking sight. It's a place steeped in history and tradition. Founded around 617 by monks from Luxeuil Abbey during the Hiberno-Scottish mission, it is considered Bavaria's oldest monastery. Over the centuries, it has evolved into a thriving center of culture, faith, and beer. The abbey sits in the stunning Danube Gorge, a dramatic river valley that has been important since Roman times. Back in the day, the area was part of a Roman military route, and archaeological finds suggest it's been inhabited since prehistoric times. By the 8th century, the monks at Weltenberg adopted the Benedictine way of life, receiving support from Bavarian rulers like Duke Tassilo III. The abbey flourished in the 18th century under Abbot Maurus Beckel, who oversaw the construction of the beautiful Baroque-style monastery courtyard and church. The church, dedicated to St. George, was designed by the renowned Assam brothers and is a masterpiece of architecture and art. Like many religious institutions, Weltenberg faced challenges during Bavaria's secularization in 1803, when it was dissolved and its treasures were confiscated. However, in 1842, King Ludwig the Fremsters helped bring it back to life, and it's been a vibrant center of Benedictine life ever since. What Weltenberg Abbey is best known for today is its brewery, which has been crafting beer since 1050, making it one of the oldest monastic breweries in the world. Their Weltenberger Kloster Barock Dunkel has won multiple World Beer Cup awards for its exceptional quality. Visitors can enjoy the Abbey's beers and traditional Bavarian food in the on-site restaurant or its lively beer garden, all while soaking in the incredible views of the Danube. Weltenberg Abbey is more than a historic site. It's a living testament to resilience, tradition, and the timeless art of hospitality and brewing. Augustiner Brau. Founded in 1328, Augustiner Bräu is Munich's oldest independent brewery, and it has a fascinating story. It all started in an Augustinian monastery just outside Munich's old city walls, where monks brewed beer for the Bavarian royal Wittelsbach family until 1589. When the monastery was dissolved in 1803 during Bavaria's secularization, the brewery moved to private hands and has remained independent ever since. In 1817, the brewery relocated to Neuhauser Strasse, and by the mid-1800s, it had embraced modern brewing techniques like using steam power. Over time, it expanded to new sites, including the now famous Augustiner Keller Beer Garden on Arnulfstrasse. This spot remains one of Munich's favorite places to enjoy a cold beer under shady chestnut trees. World War II caused heavy damage to the brewery, but bounced back, modernized, and continued its legacy. The brewery stayed true to its roots, with 51% of the company now owned by the Edith Haberland Wagner Foundation, ensuring its independent spirit and charitable focus. Augustiner is a cherished part of Oktoberfest history. Its beers have been served at the festival since at least 1867, and the brewery's iconic Festhalle tent is a highlight of the event. Uniquely, Augustiner is the only Oktoberfest brewery that still serves beer from traditional wooden barrels, adding to its charm and authenticity. The brewery's success lies in its timeless approach. It doesn't chase trends, sticking to its classic bottle design and old-school labels. Like Edelstoff and Lagerbier Hell, its beers are adored in Munich and beyond. Though the brewery doesn't advertise, its reputation speaks for itself, making Augustiner a symbol of tradition and quality in German brewing. For anyone visiting Munich, a trip to Augustiner Bräu or its beer garden is a must. It's not just a drink, it's a taste of history. Bolton Brewery. Founded in North Rhine-Westphalia, Germany, Bolton Brauerei has been crafting beer since 1266, making it one of the world's oldest breweries and the oldest alt beer brewery. It all started when the Lord of Millendonk gave the green light to brew beer at the site in Korschenbräuch. More than 7 centuries later, Bolton is still going strong, producing around 50,000 hectoliters of beer annually. What sets Bolton apart is its dedication to tradition and variety. Their alt beer lineup features 2 stars, Alt, a classic version, and Uralt, an unfiltered take for those who like their beer a little bolder. There's Urweisen, a refreshing and smooth option for wheat beer lovers. But Bolton doesn't stop there. They offer Helles and Landbier, 2 lighter beers with a gentler hop profile, perfect for easy sipping. On the hoppier side, their Nature Pilsner packs a punch with a bold, crisp taste. And for the festive season, they bring out Nikolaus Spezial, a rich, dark beer perfect for Advent celebrations. If you're not in the mood for alcohol, Bolton still has you covered with its Malds, a sweet non-alcoholic malt beer that's just as enjoyable. Bolton Brauerei is about keeping the past alive while catering to today's beer enthusiasts. Whether you're exploring their traditional alt beer or trying their modern takes, Bolton's dedication to quality and flavor shines through every sip. For anyone visiting North Rhine-Westphalia, a stop at Bolton isn't just about beer. It's about experiencing centuries of brewing history in a glass. Stiegl Brewery. In the beautiful city of Salzburg, Stiegl Brewery has been crafting beer since 1492, making it one of Austria's oldest and most beloved breweries. Known for its dedication to quality, Stiegl is Austria's most popular private beer brand, standing tall as a local favorite that big corporations like Braunion don't own. Stiegl brews a variety of beers, but its classics include the light and refreshing Stiegl Goldbräu Märzen and a smooth Weiss beer, Hefeweizen. They also add a modern twist with fun creations like their Grapefruit Radler, a fruity and zesty mix perfect for hot summer days. Stiegl's strong connection to Salzburg's beer culture makes it extra unique. For more than 120 years, the brewery has been privately owned by the Kiener family. Initially based in downtown Salzburg, the brewery moved to the Maxglan district in the late 1800s, where it still stands today. If you're curious about how Stiegl beer is made, visiting their Stiegl Brauwelt is a must. This beer museum takes you through the history and art of brewing, and the tour ends with a free beer at their cozy pub, an experience beer lovers shouldn't miss. Stiegl's secret lies in its commitment to quality and sustainability. They use pure, untreated spring water from deep beneath the Untersberg mountain and rely on local ingredients to ensure their beer remains authentic and delicious. Even Mozart was a fan of Stiegl's barley juice, and it's easy to see why. With a perfect mix of tradition and innovation, Stiegl Brewery continues to be a shining example of Salzburg's rich brewing heritage. Einbecker Brewery. Settled in Einbeck, Lower Saxony, Germany, the Einbecker Brewery is a treasure of brewing history. Established before 1378, it's one of the oldest breweries in the world and the last one standing in Einbeck. The town is famously known as the birthplace of Bock beer, a rich and flavorful brew, and Einbecker keeps that tradition alive with pride. Back in the 1300s, Einbeck's beer was the talk of Europe, dominating markets with the help of the Hanseatic League. The first official record of its beer dates to April 1378, when 2 barrels were sold to Chile, nearly 80 miles away. That's some serious beer buzz. Einbecker even boldly claims, without Einbeck, there'd be no Bock beer, proudly displayed above their door. Even famous reformer Martin Luther couldn't resist Einbecker's charm. He reportedly enjoyed it so much that he was gifted barrels of their beer, including one for his wedding in 1525. It's safe to say Einbecker has been winning hearts for centuries. Though Einbeck's brewing dominance faded after the 30 Years' War, the brewery survived and thrived. In 1794, all brewing operations in town were consolidated into a single city-owned brewery. By 1884, they started bottling beer in their now iconic, low-shouldered bottle, which is still used today. Fast forward to today, Einbecker produces a variety of beers, with its bestseller being the crisp and refreshing Brauherren Pils. But its valid claim to fame remains its Bock beers, rich, malty brews that celebrate Einbeck's legendary history. Einbecker is more than a brewery. It's a living piece of beer history. With centuries of craftsmanship and tradition in every sip, it's no wonder their beers have stood the test of time. Yuengling Brewery, founded in 1829, D.G. Yuengling & Son proudly holds the title of the oldest operating brewery in the United States. This family-owned brewery is a true American classic located in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. In fact, by 2018, it was the largest craft brewery in the country and the biggest U.S.-owned brewery overall. It's impressive for a business that started nearly 200 years ago. The name Yuengling comes from the founder, David Gottlieb Jungling, a German immigrant who changed his surname to make it easier to pronounce. Fittingly, Jungling means youngster in German. Since the start, the company has been passed down through generations, keeping it a true family affair. Yuengling's most famous beer is its traditional lager, an amber lager so beloved in Pennsylvania that locals often ask for a lager at bars. But the brewery doesn't stop there. It also crafts other favorites like its light lager, and even a seasonal collaboration with Hershey's chocolate porter. Fun fact, during Prohibition, Yuengling survived by making near beers with very little alcohol and ice cream, which it brought back to shelves in 2014. History buffs will love Yuengling's story, which is full of resilience. After a fire destroyed its original brewery in 1831, it relocated to its current Pottsville site. When Prohibition ended in 1933, Yuengling celebrated by shipping a truckload of beer to the White House as a thank you to President Roosevelt. Today, Yuengling operates breweries in Pennsylvania and Tampa, Florida, supplying fans across the East Coast and beyond. With its iconic eagle logo, rich legacy, and commitment to quality, Yuengling isn't just a brewery, it's a symbol of American brewing history. Whether you're sipping their lager or chocolate porter, you're tasting nearly 2 centuries of tradition. Shepherd Neame Brewery. Shepherd Neame is England's oldest independent brewery, nestled in the charming town of Faversham, Kent, for over 300 years. While the official founding date is 1698, brewing has been happening on this site since as far back as 1573. Impressively, the brewery has been passed through 5 families without interruption. Today, it produces a variety of cask ales and filtered beers and even collaborates on ciders, exporting to 44 countries worldwide, including Canada, Italy, and Brazil. The story starts with Captain Richard Marsh, who was already making waves in the brewing world by 1678. After Marsh, the brewery changed hands a few times before landing with Samuel Shepherd in 1741. Samuel, originally from Deal, Kent, had a knack for innovation and beer. By 1789, his son Julius Shepherd installed one of the first steam engines outside London, giving rise to the name Faversham Steam Brewery. It's ahead of its time. What makes Shepherd Neame beers so unique? It starts with the water, chalk-filtered mineral water drawn from an artesian well right below the brewery. Additionally, 93% of their hops come from Kent's lush hop fields, and you've got a recipe for excellence. Even their 100-year-old teak mash tuns were recently given a facelift, ensuring tradition meets modern care. Shepherd Neame doesn't just stick to its brews. They produce Samuel Adams Boston Lager under license, a partner in crafting Orchard View apple cider, and distribute favorites like Sing a Thai Lager and Angry Orchard cider. With around 300 pubs and hotels across Kent and London, Shepherd Neame isn't just a brewery. It's a part of British beer culture and a proud slice of history still going strong. Smithwick's Brewery. Smithwick's is an iconic Irish red ale brewed since 1710 in Kilkenny, Ireland. Founded by John Smithwick, the brewery stayed in the Smithwick family for generations, until Guinness bought it in 1965. Today, Smithwick's is owned by Diageo, the same company that owns Guinness. While the original Kilkenny brewery closed in 2013, Smithwick's still lives on. It is now brewed in Dublin, and parts of the old brewery have become a popular visitor center, known as the Smithwick's Experience Kilkenny. John Smithwick, an orphan who made his way to Kilkenny, started his brewery with a local businessman, Richard Cole, on land they leased in 1705. By 1710, Smithwick took full ownership and built the brewery from the ground up. It remained a small local operation until Smithwick's great-grandson, Edmund, took over in the early 1800s. Edmund expanded the business by exporting beers to England, Scotland, and Wales, and even became a respected local figure, serving as mayor of Kilkenny 4 times. The brewery faced tough times during the 1800s, including falling export sales and challenging market conditions. But smart decisions like diversifying into mineral water and securing military contracts helped the brewery bounce back. By the 1930s, under the leadership of Walter Smithwick, the brewery had grown and survived World War II. In 1965, Guinness bought Smithwick's, and in 1966, Smithwick's Draft Ale was introduced to the market. By the 1980s, the ale was a hit internationally. By 1993, it became Canada's top imported ale. Although the Kilkenny Brewery closed in 2013, Smithwick's remains a beloved beer. It is still brewed in Dublin, continuing its rich legacy in Irish brewing. Molson Brewery. Molson Brewery is one of Canada's oldest and most famous breweries. Founded in 1786 by John Molson in Montreal, it has grown into a major player in the beer world today, especially after merging with Adolph Coors to become Molson Coors in 2005. John Molson, originally from England, arrived in Montreal in 1782. After working at a local brewery, he saw a great opportunity in the growing demand for beer, especially among the English and Irish immigrants in the area. In 1785, he bought the Thomas Lloyd Brewery on the St. Lawrence River, and by 1786, he brewed his first batch of beer. His brew was so popular that it sold out fast. Over time, Molson didn't just focus on brewing. He expanded his business to include a lumber yard, loans to local merchants, and even steamboats to transport goods and people between Quebec and Ontario. He also started the Molson Bank, which later merged with the Bank of Montreal. The brewery continued to grow through the years. In 1903, Molson launched Molson Export, a popular ale. By 1945, the Molson family made the company public, allowing more people to invest. This move helped the brewery expand into lager and open a new brewery in Toronto. Molson also became a major player in Canadian sports, buying the Montreal Canadiens and the Montreal Forum in 1957. Molson's expansion didn't stop there. In 1958, they acquired 6 breweries across Canada, making them a national leader. By 1989, Molson merged with Carling O'Keefe, becoming the largest brewery in Canada and the 5th largest in the world. Today, Molson Coors continues to brew beer at the original site in Montreal, carrying on a tradition that has lasted for over 230 years. Base Brewery. Base Brewery, founded in 1777 by William Bass in Burton-upon-Trent, England, is one of the world's oldest and most famous breweries. It became known for its pale ale, once the top-selling beer in the UK. By 1877, Bass had grown so large that it became the biggest brewery in the world, producing 1 million barrels of beer each year. Its iconic red triangle logo was also the first registered trademark in the UK. The brewery's story starts when William Bass, after working for another brewer, decided to open his own business. He saw the potential of the growing beer market, especially with the rise in popularity of beer among English and Irish immigrants. As the company grew, William's son Michael Thomas Bass took over and expanded the brewery even more. By the mid-1800s, Bass beers were being sold all over the world. The company's success continued into the 20th century. Bass bought out other large breweries, including Walker's and Worthington, and became the dominant brewing force in the UK. In 1923, the brewery became a public company and was listed on the London Stock Exchange in 1935. By the 2000s, Bass was part of a larger brewing group. In 2000, Interbrew, now Anheuser-Busch InBev, bought its brewing operations, while the pub and hotel side became a separate company. Though the brewery in Burton had closed by 2005, it remained an important piece of brewing history. Bass's famous red triangle logo is still a symbol of its legacy. The brand is still brewed today, with production taking place in various locations, including Burton-upon-Trent and beyond. The original Bass Brewery was briefly turned into a museum, but is now closed. However, the brewery's story is still very much alive, reminding us of a rich brewing heritage that began over 2 centuries ago. Tennent's Brewery. Tennent Caledonian is a well-known brewing company based in Glasgow, Scotland. It was founded in 1740 by Hugh and Robert Tennent on the banks of the Mollendiener Burn. The company is best known for producing Tennent's Lager, the most popular pale lager in Scotland, first brewed in 1885 at the Well Park Brewery in Glasgow. The brewery's history goes back even further than 1740. It started brewing at the same site in 1556. Over time, the business grew, with Hugh and Robert's sons continuing the family tradition and expanding the brewery. By the 1790s, they bought a neighboring brewery, renamed it Well Park Brewery, and started brewing strong ales and stout. By the mid-1800s, Tennent's was the largest bottled beer exporter in the world. The brewery's most significant change came in 1884, when Hugh Tennent took complete control of the business and started brewing lager, which became a huge success. Over the years, Tennent's introduced many firsts, including the first draft lager in 1924, the first canned lager in 1935, and the first keg lager in 1963. In the 1960s, Tennent's merged with United Caledonian Breweries to form Tennent Caledonian Breweries. The brewery continued to grow and change, with the Well Park Brewery becoming the center of operations. In 2000, Belgian brewer Interbrew acquired the company, which later became part of Anheuser-Busch InBev. In 2009, Tennent Caledonian was bought by C&C Group, an Irish company. Since then, the brand has continued to thrive, with Tennent's Lager remains Scotland's favorite beer, holding a 60% share of the Scottish lager market. The brewery even opened a craft beer venture in 2014 called Drygate Brewing Co., adding to its legacy of brewing innovation. Tennent's Lager is known for its simple yet iconic can design, featuring a large red T and the phrase, Scotland's favorite beer. Pilsner Urquell Brewery. Pilsner Urquell is a famous Czech brewery located in the city of Plzeň, Bohemia. It opened in 1842 and made history by being the first brewery to create pale lager beer, which became so popular it's now the world's most common type of beer. 2/3 of the beer brewed today is a version of Pilsner, named after Pilsner Urquell. Pilsner Urquell means the source at Pilsen, and became their trademark in 1898. Today, Pilsner Urquell is the biggest beer producer and exporter in the Czech Republic. The brewery was founded by both Czech-speaking and German-speaking locals in 1839. They named it Bürger Brauerei, or Citizens Brewery. In 1842, Bavarian brewer Joseph Groll brewed the first batch of beer there, and it was so good it led to the creation of Pilsner Beer, a brand name registered in 1859. The brewery underwent some changes, including merging with other companies, and in 1946, it was nationalized under the name Plzeňské pivovary. After communism ended in 1989, the brewery became a public share company and was renamed Plzeňský Prazdroj in 1994 to honor their famous beer. 1999, they merged with other Czech breweries, including Pivovar Radagast and Pivovar Velké Popovič. Since 2000, Pilsner Urquell has been the most extensive beer exporter in the Czech Republic. Today, Pilsner Urquell continues to celebrate its brewing tradition. It's even been chosen to participate in Expo 2025 in Osaka, Japan, where it will showcase the authentic taste of Czech beer to the world. Guinness Brewery. The Guinness Brewery in Dublin, Ireland, has been brewing beer since 1759. It was founded by Arthur Guinness, who signed a famous 9,000-year lease for the St. James's Gate Brewery at just £45 a year. This spot has been home to Guinness beer ever since. By 1886, it became the largest brewery in the world, producing 1.2 million barrels a year. Today, it's still the largest producer of stout. Arthur Guinness started brewing ales in Leixlip, County Kildare, before moving to Dublin in 1759. By 1769, Guinness began exporting his beer to England, which helped the business grow. The company expanded rapidly and became worth over $1 million when Arthur's son Benjamin died in 1868. By 1886, Guinness had a public offering on the London Stock Exchange, raising $6 million. In the 20th century, Guinness greatly impacted quality control by hiring a statistician named William Seeley Gosse, who developed the famous student's tea test, which is still used today. In 1932, Guinness moved its headquarters to London due to changes in the Irish government. The company continued to grow, and in 1986, it boldly acquired the Distillers Company. Later, in 1997, Guinness merged with Grand Metropolitan to form Diageo, one of the world's largest beverage companies. While the Guinness family no longer controls the company, they own some of the brewery. In 2018, Guinness opened a new brewery in Baltimore, USA, marking its first new brewery in 64 years. Although this brewery makes some unique beers, the classic Guinness Stout is still brewed in Dublin. Today, the St. James's Gate Brewery is one of the most profitable breweries in the world and continues to make the iconic Guinness beer that has been loved for centuries. And there you have it, the world's oldest brewery still operating today. From its humble beginnings to becoming a global name, seeing how far it has come is fantastic. Whether you're a history fan or a beer lover, this brewery's story is worth knowing. Here's to many more years of brewing tradition.